My hands won't stop shaking. The satin veil trembles between my fingers as I stand before the church mirror, sunlight filtering through stained glass to paint kaleidoscope patterns across my wedding dress. A text makes my phone buzz against the antique vanity. "Don't read it," I whisper to my reflection, but my fingers move on their own, unlocking the screen. Mom's words punch the air from my lungs. "We've made our choice. Amanda needs us more." A knock at the door saves me from screaming. Linda, our wedding coordinator, peers in with a clipboard pressed to her chest. Her bright red lipstick smile wavers. "Celeste, honey, I wanted to give you an update on the guest count." She hesitates, manicured nails tapping against the clipboard. "Only 17 guests have arrived on your side." 17. Out of the 63 Donovan family members and friends who RSVP'd yes. The door opens again and Greg slips in, still adjusting his bronze cufflinks. His eyes find mine in the mirror, and something in my expression makes him cross the room in 3 quick strides. His hands settle on my shoulders, warm and steady. "You still have me," he says softly. "Always." I lean back against his chest, letting his strength hold me up for just a moment. Then I straighten my spine and adjust my veil one final time. "Let's do this." The walk to the sanctuary doors feels endless. Each step in my ivory heels echoes against marble floors that have witnessed countless brides before me. But how many walked down the aisle, knowing their entire family had chosen someone else's side? Through the crack between the doors, I can see the empty front pews where my family should be sitting. The roses and ribbons we spent hours arranging now look like decorations for a funeral instead of a wedding. 6 months ago, this day looked so different in my mind. Amanda's phone call came on a Tuesday evening. I remember because I was cooking Greg's favorite lasagna when her ringtone startled me into dropping the wooden spoon. Tom filed for divorce. Her voice cracked between sobs. How could he do this to me? I gripped the kitchen counter, red sauce forgotten on the stove. What happened? What happened is your perfect wedding is going to overshadow everything. You're so selfish, Celeste. You've always been selfish. That night marked the beginning of the end. Family dinner that weekend turned into an ambush, with Amanda's mascara-stained face across the table as she declared my wedding timing deliberately cruel. "We've already paid $12,000 in non-refundable deposits," I explained, spreading the receipts across Mom's lace tablecloth. "The invitations went out last week. 100 guests have already." The scratch of Dad's checkbook sliding across the table cut me off. "Name your price to postpone it." The lasagna in my stomach turned to stone. "This isn't about money." "No," Mom agreed, her voice sharp as a paper cut. "It's about supporting your sister or being selfish. Choose wisely, Celeste." I chose wrong, apparently. Dad made that clear at our final family dinner 3 weeks ago. "I won't walk you down the aisle while your sister is suffering." He wouldn't even look at me as I stood to leave. Amanda's smile behind her tear-streaked makeup haunted me all the way home. The poison spread quickly after that. Aunt Martha's apologetic voicemail. "Amanda told us some disturbing things about you and Tom before the divorce." My cousins withdrew from the bridal party one by one. Childhood friends sent regrets after tearful lunch meetings with Amanda. Then came the Facebook post that made me throw up in my office bathroom. Some people build their happiness on the foundation of another woman's pain. Last night, Greg found me sitting on our apartment floor surrounded by seating charts. Red X's marked each empty space where the family should be. If they won't stand with me tomorrow, they never will. My voice didn't shake as I deleted their numbers from my phone. Greg held me while I cried, the wedding dress hanging on our bedroom door like a ghost. Now I stand before these sanctuary doors, my bouquet of white roses and blue delphiniums trembling slightly. Linda whispers a 5-minute warning. Wait. Greg's mother appears at my elbow, elegant in her pearl gray dress. She unpins a small blue and white porcelain brooch from her lapel, something old, something borrowed, something blue all in one piece. This was my grandmother's. Every bride in our family has worn it since 1943. Her fingers are gentle as she pins it to my bodice, just above my heart. When she steps back, her eyes shine with tears, but her smile is fierce with pride. Welcome to the family, sweetheart. We've been waiting for you. The organ begins to play, and I take my first step toward my future. Behind these doors, my past sits in empty pews. But ahead of me stands the man who has never once asked me to be less than who I am. I lift my chin and tighten my grip on the bouquet. Some choices make themselves. My heels click against the marble floor of the church sanctuary. The sound echoes through the space where 63 chairs sit empty on my side, mocking the carefully arranged white rose petals scattered down the aisle. Greg's family fills their rows to bursting, their faces beaming with warmth that only highlights the barren expanse across the aisle. Another set of cousins just arrived, Linda whispers, her wedding coordinator's smile wavering. They're sitting in the back. Mother's cousins, Rachel and David, slip into the last row, their eyes fixed on the floor. They won't stay for the reception. I know this, like I know the weight of my bouquet, like I know the exact shade of purple under Amanda's tear-stained eyes at that final family dinner. The photographer clears his throat. Should we start the family photos now, or... We're her family now. Greg's mother, Helen, steps forward, pearls gleaming at her throat. She wraps an arm around my waist, and for a moment I let myself lean into her solid presence. She smells like Chanel No. 5, just like she did the first time she hugged me 3 years ago. The reception hall sparkles with tiny lights, but I can't stop staring at the empty tables. Each pristine place setting marks another person who chose Amanda's lies over my truth. The string quartet plays our first dance song while Greg holds me close, his hands steady against my back. Tom's here. The words slip from my mouth before I can stop them. My childhood neighbor stands awkwardly by the bar, whiskey glass clutched in his fingers. His blue tie hangs loose, and something in his expression makes my stomach clench. Do you want me to ask him to leave? Greg's voice rumbles against my cheek. No, I pull back, squeezing his hand. I need to know why he came. Tom spots me approaching and downs the rest of his whiskey. I didn't know if I should come, he says, setting the glass on the bar with a sharp click. But you deserve the truth. We find a quiet corner, away from the dance floor where Helen leads the electric slide. Tom's hands shake as he pulls out his phone. Amanda stopped taking her birth control without telling me. His words land like stones in still water. When I found out when I saw the ovulation tracking app on her phone and the prenatal vitamins hidden in her desk, I filed for divorce. The room tilts sideways. I grip the back of a chair, my knuckles white against the silk ribbon decoration. She didn't tell you that part, did she? Tom's laugh holds no humor. Just like she didn't tell you about the emails. He scrolls through his phone, then holds it out. The screen shows a message chain I was never meant to see. Amanda's name glows at the top. They'll believe me over her. They always have. Mom's already calling the relatives. No one will come to the wedding after what Celeste did. I'll make her pay for stealing you. The timestamp shows 2 days after she called me about the divorce. 2 days before she started telling everyone I'd been secretly involved with Tom for months. My phone buzzes in my clutch. 3 messages from my parents flash across the screen. Hope you're happy with yourself. How dare you invite him? Amanda's crying again. This is all your fault. Greg finds me still staring at the messages. His jaw tightens as he reads over my shoulder. Your entire family chose to believe a lie without even asking you? The hurt in his voice mirrors the ache in my chest. Not one of them questioned her story? The wedding videographer captures my face as understanding crashes through me. Every tearful lunch where Amanda poisoned my friendships. Every family dinner where she played the victim while I tried to explain about deposits and invitations. The Facebook posts, the whispered rumors, all of it orchestrated with surgical precision. My hands move without conscious thought, reaching up to unclasp my grandmother's pearl necklace something borrowed, that Aunt Martha brought by this morning with tears in her eyes. The pearls pool in my palm, heavy with generations of family history. I place them carefully in their velvet box and snap it shut. The wedding cake stands pristine on its silver plateau, layers of white fondant decorated with delicate sugar flowers. No one mentions the missing family traditions, no mother-daughter cake-cutting moment, no shared knife passed down since my great-grandmother's wedding. I lift the microphone, my voice carrying across the reception hall. I'd like to thank everyone who chose truth over comfort today. Who stood with us even when standing alone would have been easier? My eyes find Helen and James, Greg's parents, sitting with straight backs in their seats of honor. Family isn't always about blood. Sometimes it's about who stays when the truth costs something. The crystal glasses chime as Greg and I raise our toast. To beginnings and endings, I say softly. Both happening today. Later, I watch Helen and James sign our marriage certificate as witnesses. Their signatures flow across the paper where my parents' names should have been. Helen's hand rests on my shoulder, warm and solid. Welcome to the family, sweetheart. Her voice holds no hesitation, no conditions. We've been waiting for you. I lean into her embrace, letting the scent of Chanel number 5 wash over me. Outside the window, a car that looks like my mother's idols in the parking lot. I turn away from the glass and focus on my new family, on the future we'll build without foundations of lies. Some truths shatter the stories we've believed our whole lives. Some endings make space for beginnings we never dared to imagine. I squeeze Greg's hand as we walk toward the exit, rose petals crunching under our feet. Behind us, 63 empty chairs bear silent witness to choices that can never be unmade. And I don't look back. 3 months later, after all the drama, and barely a minimum of contact, my phone buzzed for the 5th time this morning, Mother's name lighting up the screen. I've managed to ignore the previous calls, but something in my gut tells me I can't avoid this forever, especially not with my hand resting on the slight swell of my stomach, barely visible at 12 weeks. Hello, Mother. The words taste stiff on my tongue after 3 years of silence. Celeste. Her voice wobbles. I wasn't sure you'd answer. The silence stretches between us like a rubber band ready to snap. I wait her out, years of practice keeping my breathing steady. The hydrangeas are blooming, she says finally. Remember how you used to help me plant them every spring? Mother. No, please. Just let me talk about something normal for a minute. Pages rustle in the background. I've been reading about nursery colors. The studies show babies respond best to softer shades. Your room was yellow, did you know that? But Amanda's was pink. My fingers tighten on the phone. Of course she'd bring up Amanda within the first minute. The articles say green is very soothing, she continues. Amanda's been reading all the baby books too. She has such wonderful ideas for the nursery. The rubber band snaps. Why are you calling? A long breath whispers through the line. We've been thinking about arrangements. Arrangements? For the baby. Mother's voice brightens with artificial cheer. Alan and I have discussed it extensively, and with Amanda's situation. My free hand curls protectively over my stomach. What situation? Oh, sweetheart. Her voice cracks. The doctors confirmed it last month. Amanda can't have children. The IVF failed 3 times, and she spent her entire savings. A muffled sob. She's devastated. Ice slides down my spine as the pieces click into place. Mother, why are you telling me this? Because we've found a solution, a way to heal our family. The words tumble out faster now. Amanda could help raise the baby. Co-parent. You'd both be mothers in a way. She has so much love to give, Celeste. This could fix everything that's broken between us. The room tilts sideways. Black spots dance at the edges of my vision. The baby would help Amanda heal, Mother continues, her voice taking on the sing-song quality I remember from childhood manipulations. We could all be together again. Amanda's already looking at houses near us. She could help with night feedings, doctor's appointments. Stop. The word rips from my throat. Don't be selfish, darling. After everything we've done for you. This is my child. Each word falls like a stone. Not Amanda's consolation prize. Celeste Grace Mitchell, Mother's voice sharpens to a blade. How dare you be so heartless? Your sister is suffering. My last name is Donovan. The calm in my voice surprises me. And if you ever contact me about this again, you'll never meet your grandchild. I end the call as Greg walks in, his face tight with concern. Before he can speak, my phone explodes with notifications. The family group chat lights up with messages. How could you be so cruel? Amanda is devastated. Your father is beside himself. After everything this family has done for you. Greg's arm slides around my shoulders as I block each number, one by one. They're insane, I whisper. They want Amanda to co-parent our baby. His body goes rigid. What? She can't have children. This is their solution. A laugh bubbles up, edged with hysteria. They want to give her my baby. Greg's jaw clenches. He reaches for my phone just as a video notification pops up. Amanda's tear-streaked face fills the screen. I'm making this video because I need people to understand. She sobs. My sister is denying our family the chance to heal. All I want is to be part of my niece or nephew's life. The lies flow like honey, sweet and sticky and dangerous. I watch my sister perform for her audience, her pain real but weaponized, just like always. Dad's voice message comes next. You need to think about what's right for the whole family, Celeste. Call your mother. The doorbell rings. A delivery man holds out a massive box. The card reads, For my special little one. Love, Aunt Amanda. Greg intercepts the white wooden crib before I can see it, but I catch a glimpse of the hand-painted letters as he carries it to the garage. Baby's second home. The calls pour in all afternoon. Aunt Martha's voice trembles. Sweetie, you're hormonal right now. Not thinking clearly. Cousin Rachel texts, Amanda's heartbroken. She just wants to love this baby. Uncle Steve emails, Your father's blood pressure is through the roof. Is this what you want? Greg and I document each contact methodically. Timestamps, screenshots, voice messages saved. Maybe we should stay with my parents until the baby comes, Greg suggests quietly. The guest house is private, gated community. I nod, throat too tight for words. An hour later, my best friend Sarah arrives with takeout and a business card. He's a private investigator, she explains, specializes in family cases. 2 hours later, the lawyer's office adds security notes to my file after my tearful call. Our lawyer drafts preliminary restraining order paperwork, ready to file. Keep documenting everything, she advises. Every call, every gift, every social media post. We'll need it all. That night, I curl against Greg's chest, his heartbeat steady under my ear. I can't let them near this baby, I whisper. They'll do to our child what they did to me. His arms tighten. They won't get the chance. But as I drift into uneasy sleep, my phone lights up one last time. An email from Mother. Remember when you were 5 and scraped your knee? Amanda kissed it better while I cleaned the cut. That's all we want, to love this baby together, as a family. Don't make us choose again, darling. You know who we'll pick. A month later, the mahogany walls of Richard Sterling's law office bear witness to 40 years of family disputes, but his grave expression tells me this case stands apart. Greg's hand finds mine as the attorney spreads our evidence across his desk like a museum curator arranging artifacts of obsession. Mrs. Donovan. Sterling removes his reading glasses, rubbing the bridge of his nose. This goes beyond standard family disagreement. The level of coordination here suggests something more disturbing. My eyes trace the timeline we've constructed. Amanda's fake baby registry. Mom's tearful workplace ambush. The blog posts spreading lies about my cruelty. Each item marks another boundary crushed beneath their desperation. Whatever it costs. Greg's voice carries the weight of sleepless nights spent watching me cry. We'll do whatever it takes to protect our family. Sterling nods, selecting heavy cream-colored letterhead. A formal cease and desist is our first step. But given the escalating pattern, his pen scratches against paper, authority in every stroke. We should discuss restraining orders. The word pounds through my chest like a second heartbeat. Restraining orders against my own family. We leave Sterling's office with a battle plan typed in precise legal language. In my purse, a business card for a security consultant weighs like a stone. The next week blurs into a cascade of changes. New alarm system with cameras tracking every approach to our home. Phone numbers scrubbed, email addresses purged and replaced. Our townhouse listing goes live as Greg researches gated communities with controlled access. His parents form a protective circle, screening calls and visitors with military precision. Greg's mother starts accompanying me to prenatal appointments, her presence both comfort and shield. On Wednesday afternoon, they're getting desperate. Sarah warns over coffee, sliding screenshots across the table. Amanda's latest Facebook post drips with martyred accusations. Some people think they own motherhood itself, but a child needs their whole family. I haven't finished reading. Can't stomach the comment section filled with strangers condemning my selfishness. The doorbell rings on a Thursday afternoon. Through the security camera, I watch my mother's shoulders shake with theatrical sobs as she pleads with my receptionist. Please, I just need 5 minutes with my daughter. Greg's father intercepts her before she reaches the elevator. His gentle but firm voice carries through the intercom. Susan, you need to leave. Now. That night, a baby registry appears online in my name. The address links to Amanda's house. Family rights. Dad's voicemail threatens legal action of his own. You can't keep a grandmother from her grandchild. We have options too. The packages start arriving despite our change of address. Baby clothes, parenting books, each gift tagged with Amanda's name like a claim of ownership. Then Tom's email lands in my inbox. I should have warned you years ago, but maybe this can help now. The attachment contains photos of journal pages, Amanda's familiar looping handwriting filling each line, dates from 6 months before their divorce, plans for getting pregnant without Tom's knowledge, research on custody laws, a list titled, Ways to Make Sure Baby Stays Close to Family. She did this before, Tom tells me over video chat, his face gray with old guilt. There was a coworker at her office. When his wife got pregnant, Amanda became fixated. Started buying baby things, telling everyone she'd be like a second mother. They had to transfer departments. His testimony joins our growing legal file. Sterling adds it to the restraining order documentation with grim satisfaction. Amanda's tears flow for the local mommy blogger's camera. The interview spreads across social media like poison. My own sister, denying our family bonds, the trauma of infertility, just wanting to share the joy. But something shifts. Private messages trickle in from other mothers, stories of Amanda's too intense interest in their pregnancies, offers to testify if needed. Weeks later, the whispers in our small town change direction. Did you hear about the sister? The one who's been stalking? My email to the extended family goes out on one Sunday evening. Simple facts, timeline of events, legal boundaries clearly stated. Any further contact will be handled through our attorney. The certified letter comes back, and the receipt is bright green. Proof of delivery. Proof they can't claim ignorance. 24 hours pass in blessed silence. For the first time in weeks, I sleep through the night. No anxious checking of cameras. No startling it sounds. Greg helps me finish the nursery, walls painted in peaceful yellow touched with clouds. Above the crib, paper butterflies dance on invisible threads. Maybe it's really over, I whisper, letting myself lean into hope. The phone rings at 3 a.m. You can't keep my baby from me. Amanda's voice slurs with something beyond exhaustion. You think some lawyer can stop me? That baby needs me. Needs us. Greg's already calling the police as I save the recording. Through our bedroom windows, security lights flash across a car matching Amanda's parked just outside our gated community. My hands settle over my growing belly, protective and fierce. The fear rises like floodwater, but beneath it runs a stronger current. They've shown me exactly who they are. Now I'll show them exactly who I've become. Sterling's voicemail awaits my call. Time to file those restraining orders. After the conversation, even though it was 4 a.m. now, we have made plans to keep going with the procedure. 2 months later, after we came back from the consultation, my keys slipped from my fingers when I stepped into our living room. Susan, my mother, perches on the edge of our cream sofa, her spine ruler straight as she chats with Greg's parents. Their faces mirror my shock. Darling. She rises, arms outstretched, designer purse dangling from her wrist. We just wanted to clear the air. The grandfather clock in the corner ticks 7 hollow beats before I find my voice. How did you get in here? Greg's mother, Barbara, wrings her hands. She told the security guard she was bringing prenatal vitamins you desperately needed. We didn't know what to do when she showed up. Because I read you need extra iron. Susan pulls out a white paper bag, her smile stretched tight across her face. I got the expensive ones. My hand curls protectively over my stomach. The baby kicks once, hard, as if sensing my surge of adrenaline. The front door opens behind me. Greg's footsteps stop short. What's happening? My mother manipulated her way past our security. My voice stays measured despite my trembling hands, to ambush me in our home. Susan's face crumples on cue. That's not fair. We're trying to help. No, the word rings clear as a bell. You're trying to control. You've spent my entire life letting Amanda manipulate everyone while I kept quiet. That ends today. I cross to the antique secretary desk Greg inherited from his grandfather. The manila folder inside feels heavy with the weight of truth. Tom's affidavit lands on the coffee table with a soft thud. Read it. When Susan doesn't move, I open to the first page. Amanda stopped taking birth control without telling Tom. She planned the pregnancy to trap him. When he found out, he filed for divorce. Color drains from Susan's face. She wouldn't. But she did, just like she methodically poisoned my wedding. Just like she's trying to claim my baby. I lay out the timeline of Amanda's lies, the security footage of her following me, the social media posts. You enabled every bit of this. Greg's hand settles on my shoulder, warm and steady. Susan's tears flow right on schedule, but they hold no power over me now. We just thought if we supported her enough, her voice cracks, if we loved her enough. You taught her that manipulation works, that she never has to face consequences. The words I've swallowed for decades rise up, bitter as medicine. You made me responsible for her feelings while ignoring mine. Susan's phone buzzes. She jumps like she's been shocked. Answer it. I know who it is before she puts it on speaker. Susan? My father's voice fills the room. Where are you? Amanda needs you home now. I'm with Celeste. We're trying to work things out. Jesus Christ. His disgust carries clearly through the speaker. Just tell her whatever she wants to hear. We can figure out the baby situation later. The silence that follows feels like a physical weight. Greg's parents exchange glances heavy with understanding. I retrieve another folder from the desk. The restraining order application sits between us like a loaded gun. This gets filed the next time any of you contact me. My finger traces the embossed letterhead, along with harassment charges, trespassing reports, and documentation of financial damages. The district attorney handling the case specializes in family stalking. You wouldn't! But Susan's hands shake as she picks up her purse. This child will never know manipulation disguised as love. My voice gains strength with each word. They'll understand healthy boundaries and genuine support. If you want any relationship with your grandchild, you'll complete separate family therapy first, and Amanda will never have any parental role. Those terms are non-negotiable. Susan's carefully constructed facade crumbles. Real tears replace the performative ones. We never thought she'd go this far. Her phone rings again. Amanda's name flashes on the screen. Your choice hasn't changed. I open our front door. It's still Amanda or me. She gathers her things with trembling fingers. At the threshold, she tries one last time. This will kill your father. Your choices might. The words taste like freedom. Mine won't. The door closes with a soft click that echoes like a thunderclap. Through the window, I watch Susan walk to her car, shoulders bent under the weight of consequences finally delivered. The setting sun paints long shadows across our driveway as she drives away. Greg wraps his arms around me from behind, one hand covering mine where it rests on our growing child. His parents slip quietly into the kitchen, giving us space to breathe in the aftermath of the storm. You did it, he whispers against my hair. We did it, I corrected him, leaning back into his strength. All of us. The baby kicks again, gentler this time. In the growing darkness, I imagine I can feel the exact moment generations of toxic patterns snap like thread pulled too tight. The broken ends drift away, leaving space for something new to grow. And in 4 months, that little something will be in my arms. 4 months later, my fingers trace the silver mobile spinning above Emily's crib, morning sunlight catching each delicate star. 7 pounds, 6 ounces of pure miracle sleeps beneath, her tiny fists curled against the soft yellow blanket Greg's mother knitted. The quiet feels sacred after 3 days of happy chaos in the hospital room, Greg's family filling every chair, their joy spilling into the hallway while nurses smiled at our full visitor log. 3 generations of Donovans crowded around that tiny hospital bed, but not a single Mitchell darkened the door. No tense smiles or manipulative tears, no Amanda hovering with grasping hands. Just pure, uncomplicated love. Now, I lift Emily into my arms, her warmth settling against my chest as I sink into the nursery rocker. The gentle creak of wood against wood draws forth a half-remembered lullaby, one my grandmother sang on Sunday afternoons while Mother attended her garden club. Lavender's blue, dilly dilly. My voice catches. I'd forgotten how the melody went until this moment. Emily's eyes flutter, tiny fingers flexing against my collarbone. The refrigerator downstairs glints with cards and photos, not a single one bearing my maiden name. Yet somehow, the space feels fuller than any Mitchell family gathering ever did. The doorbell chimes. My shoulders tense before I remember. It's just Sarah dropping off more lasagna. She's appointed herself meal coordinator, directing a steady stream of casseroles from our actual friends, the ones who stood witness at our wedding when blood relatives chose absence. But the professional family photos in yesterday's mail had no return address. The small gift on the porch bore no card. Only baby Emily Donovan, written in my mother's precise handwriting on a Christmas envelope, returned unopened. I drop each attempt at contact into a box in the garage, no longer needing to read them. The anxiety that once knotted my stomach has faded to a dull ache, then to nothing at all. Doctor. Patterson calls it progress. Our weekly sessions focus on breaking chains, she says, ensuring Emily will never learn to doubt her worth through a grandmother's conditional love. The Mother's Support Group meets on Thursdays. Women with similar stories share strategies over coffee, swapping tips for maintaining boundaries when Facebook memories threaten to weaken resolve. Greg handles the practical side, security cameras, block numbers, detailed records of each unwanted contact. But he never hovers, never doubts my strength. His pride shines brightest when I stand firmest. A whole year passes in building our little fortress to protect our family. And now, at the present, sunlight warms the hardwood as I dress Emily for her first birthday party. Her dark curls, pure Donovan jeans, spring free of the tiny bow. Outside, Greg arranges tables across our backyard while his parents string fairy lights through the maple trees. No forced smiles or ulterior motives, just genuine celebration. I lift my glass later, surrounded by chosen family. To those who love without conditions. Greg's arm tightens around my waist as phones flash, capturing Emily's frosting-covered grin. The photo will join others in her album, a visual story of peace claimed through difficult choices. The letter sits in my desk drawer, sealed until Emily's 18th birthday. Words I've refined through countless therapy sessions explaining why her family tree looks different from her friends'. Why love sometimes requires walking away. Why her story begins with strength, not surrender. Your mommy was so brave, Greg's mother whispers, bouncing Emily on her knee. 3 generations beam for the camera. Greg's parents, us, our daughter. The contrast with my childhood photos strikes deep. No rigid poses or tight smiles. No sister's manipulative tears. Just authentic joy. Sarah forwards occasional updates. Amanda moved to Arizona last spring, started fresh with a new man. My parents separated once their enabling dynamic cracked under its own weight. The news settles like autumn leaves, acknowledged, then swept away by the winds of our new life. Time spins forward with months passing. Emily learns to walk, Greg teaching her balance with gentle hands. I watch them from the kitchen window, one palm pressed unconsciously against my stomach where our second child grows. The revelation brought no fear this time, no dread of family intrusion. Just pure anticipation of expanding our circle of chosen love. "Higher, Daddy!" Emily squeals from the swing set. My reflection in the window glass catches me off guard, eyes bright, smile reaching deep. The shadow of family anxiety has lifted so gradually I barely noticed its departure. In its place stands certainty. Our children will never know love tangled with manipulation. Never learn to shrink themselves to fit someone else's needs. The evening breeze carries Emily's laughter across the yard. Greg scoops her up, airplane style, as I step onto the porch. My daughter's arms reach for me, her face glowing with uncomplicated trust. The simple truth fills my chest. Empty spaces in a family tree hurt less than poisoned roots. I gather my daughter close, breathing in her baby shampoo sweetness. Your story begins with love? I whisper into her curls. Pure love, freely given. Greg's hand finds mine as the sunset paints our world in shades of possibility. The generational pattern ends here, with us. With choice. With peace.